Hi guys, how are you all today? I hope everybody's doing well. Say hi, tell us where you're from. You never know, the person next to you may be doing the same thing you are and enjoying the same hobbies. And we always like to know. You may find somebody new to spread the love with. So today I have something new. And if you're in the Education Connection group, you actually got a little preview of this the other day. And if you were in the summer class, you got a little preview of it as well. Hi, Linda. Hi, Ann. Hi, Helen. Hi, Caroline. Everybody is rolling in. So good to see you guys. Hi, Robin from Southern California. I hope y'all's weather is nicer. We have pretty weather, but it's a little chilly still. Hi, Katharina from Germany. So I am excited about them as well. So I'm going to show a little video so you can see it, and then I'll show some pictures of what they are. And then we're going to have some tips and tricks and some fun things that we hadn't thought about doing with our decorative fills. And I can't take credit for this. Sandra Wickland is the one who did and who figured this little trick out, and she gave me the tip. And so we're going to do our basics. But she does have a video on YouTube on a much more extensive variety of this that I'll show. If I can, I'll try to pull it up in between things to give you all an idea of where to go to find that. Okay. And Robin, I'm so glad you're enjoying the new collections. They are fun. I have enjoyed making them. It was, sometimes I need a little creative time instead of just write directions, do this, do that. And this was a creative outlet. So I started these back in November and life went to crap. Y'all know, I mean, my life just fell apart. So getting back to it in February, and I have just jammed on them since then. So without further ado, let me see if I can share the video with you. So let's see here. Let me add this to the stream. So Heather was nice enough to make a sample for me because Lord knew I wasn't having time to do anything. She was actually testing the fills and trying them out. And my end flamingos are a little different than hers because I decided to play a little bit more with them and found a ball that I liked better, a beach ball that I liked better than the original. So let me see if I can share my screen and show you the different collections a little bit slower. So let me go over here and find this. There we go. So this is collection number 1. It's bees and butterflies and chicks and bunnies and eggs and flowers. There's a little bit for everybody there. And then the second one, and you'll notice that you got extra motifs because I couldn't decide which ones to leave out. So you kind of get a little bit different. This one's got boots with the umbrellas instead of just the different umbrellas. And then the summer collection has a little bit of everything for summer. They did turn out pretty darn cute. I had fun with them, and there are also recommended size. Oops. Yep. Sorry. You are correct. Hold on. How about we try this? Try it again. Here's spring. Is that a little bit better? So that is spring. This one is the second spring one. And you'll notice that there are bonus motifs, and specifically this grass one, I'll show you why I put it in there. It's for the tulips and the carrots because they're kind of fun if you merge 2 of them together as a fill, and then you can have carrots and tulips with grass. So whichever, you get to play with that. And then here's the summer collection. So the bees were all inspired by Heather, of course, because she's our beekeeper in the world. And the fish and stuff, those were inspired by Angela. She's a sunglasses kind of girl, fish and anchors. And everything else is just kind of a little of whatever I decided I thought might look good to go in. And I do have some stitch outs over here to share with you. So let me flip cameras and I will share those with you. Hopefully you all can hear me. Yep, my microphone is working, so good. All right, so over here are the stitch outs that I have. I have them all stitched out just so you can see them, but they're not in any specific order. But this might help if we go this direction. So these are what they look like. And then y'all can vote on which collection y'all think is the most fun. So these are the tulips. Here's the umbrellas. Here's the umbrellas and the boots, the sunglasses, the palm trees. I love the strawberries. I mean, it's because it's about strawberry season here, and the octopi. And then there's bunnies, and then there's bunnies and carrots somewhere. These are just a set of bees. These are more whimsical bees. These are my more structured bees, and then the anchors. And then I liked the way the carrots by themselves turned out as well. We've got carrots and we've got chicks, and then we have bees and butterflies, rabbits and carrots, bees and chicks, and then, oh, I kept this one out because I just left it with just chicks instead of, you either get chicks left and right or just the chicks. I can't remember which one I decided on. The eggs, and then this is under the sea, and this is the one that I changed the, you'll see in a minute, I changed this item up a little bit. And then these are a quadrille of the flamingos. And then I have eggs with paintbrushes and eggs with carrots, different flowers, and that's a little bit better of a size on the flamingos that had the quarters. So let me show you the different flamingo. Hold on, let me go grab it. It's still on a frame. So these are the flamingos that actually went out with the collection instead of the one that I showed before. And then here's a lot of the different motifs stitched out in different sizes because I was trying to decide what size to recommend for you. So you can bring them in at whatever size you want, but I have put in recommended sizes for each motif. So these are all of the different motifs at different sizes. I think that one's 20 millimeters. Some look good at 20 millimeters, some don't. So this is at 15, and these two right here are definite no's at 15, in my opinion, because you can't tell what they are. These are at 25. So I've gotten quite a lot of different sizes here for you. These are at 30. So the bigger you get, the more clear they become, I will say. And these are the defaults that I set up. So if you bring them in PE Design 11, they come in at the defaults. If you bring them in anywhere, if you bring them into the machine, they automatically come in at 10 millimeters, just so you know. You have to choose your defaults. Now, I actually ended up stitching a sample so you guys can kind of see a practical use of it. And I've done this particular design before, but I used one of the built-in motifs, and here's the decorative. This one is with a decorative fill behind it instead. So that one's a lot of fun. Then Sandra's method, y'all asked last week if you could do fills with them. And yes, you can. So this is what I'm going to show you how to do today. And these are the umbrellas. And I picked something simple because it was easier to show you instead of getting one of the different, trying to get something real complicated. Let's do something simple. We can either do the strawberries or this, but this gives you an idea that yes, you can color them in. You can have fun with it and get some different ideas on how to do it. So, and as I said, Sandra's got a really good video on it herself. Let me flip over to my camera here. But I'll show you what we're going to do today. So let me get out of this and share my screen. So yes, she definitely has quite the creative mind. So let's see here. Let's come in and grab a shape. And I do want to show you some basic things that I did not necessarily share in the videos because the videos started getting a little bit large. So let's choose a decorative fill as our fill. And basically it defaults to something in the software. The last one that I used was a crackle because that's what I used as my fill for my others. So I'm going to click on the file folder and then I'm going to find the decorative fills on my computer. So let's see here. I have put mine in the patterns folder, but I put them in subfolders so I would know that they are mine. You also probably want to save them someplace else. Where did I put the strawberries? Let's do strawberries. Summer collection 1. And here's the strawberries. So if I want to play around with this, I can. This is one of the things I want you to realize. You can move your center point, which will change where those berries are located on your screen. So if I want 4 berries in there, you'll notice I've got 4 good berries there without having extra. If you want to change the size, you can always change your size over here. Make sure you choose maintain aspect ratio or they're going to be much smaller. So it's going to change it to 50 millimeters. I get more strawberries that way, but they're going to be smaller. I'm going to go back to 100 because I just want to show you the technique that we're going to talk about. So let's see here. I can get, looks like I can get 4 in here. There we go. Now, yes, they're not designs, they're decorative fills that go within your program to allow you to use them. So let's go and click on our select tool so that our background fill wizard will show up. Why are you not showing up for me today? Let me change my size to make sure that's why it's not showing up. So let's change this to 100 by 100. It won't show up if you're outside of your window. Go ahead and say, okay, now let's see if you'll let me have you. Will you let me have you? No, you little stink pot. Why not? All right, don't know what's happening, so I'm just going to restart. There's my square. Let's turn it, let's add a decorative fill in it, and then let's pick that strawberry back up. So here are my strawberries. And I moved my center point where I got 4 berries in here, right? There we go. That's pretty good. Now let's click off of everything and see what we get. I'd be danged. All right, I'm going to do one last thing. We're going to shrink this in just a hair because I can't think of anything else that's keeping me from doing this. There we go. It was just outside my area. So now let's touch our background fill wizard and you'll see that your actual decorative fill in here. So you can come in and select. I'm going to choose everything that I would choose for a red color and highlight it first and touch next. It doesn't matter which decorative fill you pick. You can come in and pick one that's in the program. That's what we'll do. Let's pick a default pattern. And let's do the crackle. And take it tiny. And there you go. So that one's ready. Go ahead and say okay. And you'll notice those are highlighted right now. So we can come up here and we can change the color all at once and not have to think about it. So there's that one. Now let's go back in and do it again and get the green parts. Come in and select your tops. Choose decorative fill there and then come in and pick a decorative fill. It's going to default to the one that was for the overall pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and do crackle again and change it back down to 25. And say okay, and then change that color. So I want that one to be green. Now I'm going to move this down below the strawberry so it comes in, it throws everything to the beginning, just so you know. I'm going to move that one to behind my strawberries. And if you want to, you can come in and make sure they're all sewing in the order that you want. So this is the bottom one down here. And if I touch this strawberry, that's the top of that strawberry. So I could make sure that they want them. Now, you can come in and you can pick different decorative fills, or let's say I wouldn't suggest fill stitches for these because you'll notice they're not quite up against that edge. So you might choose a concentric circle. And if you do that, you get the ability to change where that center point of each one is. So in order to do that, I'm going to hold the Alt key down on my keyboard and left click on that fill. Is it going to give it to me? No, it's not. So I'm going to come in here and grab that. Oh, wow, that's weird what it did to that other one. I'm going to come grab that one, come select the Select Patterns tool, and then I can grab that little square right there, or crosshair, and move it to where I want it to go, to where it extends from that. So let's come and pick this one. This one did something weird. I've never seen it drop the center like that. Well, let's say we wanted it to come from down here. And there it is back in the center. Let's pop it up here. You can come and play and make that happen. And then let's grab this one and hit the center point of it again. And you can then move it and then come and do your last one. But if you wanted to do a fill, you could do that. So I'm going to grab all of those. I held my Shift key down and selected the first one and then the last one. You could come in and you could do a net fill stitch. You could come in and do a cross stitch. Nah, cross stitch will stick out. You don't want to do that. I'll say that. You could put a different motif on it. You could choose a fill stitch. There's your fill stitch. But this is what I want you to see. Because it put it inside of that area, it is going to be slightly inside of that area. So keep that in mind when you're playing with that. And I did gradation. Actually, nope, I didn't. Okay. What you can do to try to get it to extend on that edge is come in and add a little bit of pull compensation, but it's still not going to take it all the way to your edge. Which am I on the right one? Yep, there we go. Let's come in. There's my pull comp. So you can see how I've extended it just a little bit. Is it picking the right one? Let's see which one it's got grabbed on me. Oh, no, we're way down there. So I went a little excessive on that guy. Let's come in and take him back. I kept thinking, I'm not seeing it change. I'm not seeing it change. And you could put undersewing on it, but that will give it the capability of meeting that edge just a little bit in whatever direction it's going. You cannot do that on, which one's that? Yep. I cannot do that on the concentric circles, but I can do it on fill stitches. I would suggest undersewing, but keep in mind, I mean, your decorative fills are quite, they take a little while to stitch anyhow. So you may not want to go real excited with this. You can make a very light fill on it if you change it. Let's turn that undersewing off and let's change it to gradation. And then choose pattern. So we talked about gradation a little bit the last time. But if I want mine to be at like 50%, I can take this even and we'll make it even Steven and make them right around 50%. And then let's reduce this density down. And let's say, okay. So there you go. You want to do edge run so it goes right up against the edge. And there you've got a nice little light fill that's great for being able to do, put Mylar underneath it if you want. You can change the angle of that to where it goes a different direction. So you've got options to play. And I think Sandra went in and turned on some outlines for hers. So if you really wanted an outline on it, you could come in and say, turn on an outline stitch for it if you wanted to. I did. I prefer not to do that. I kind of like it with just the outline stitch that it gives, but that is up to you. Sandra. Yeah, The fill part needs to be selected to add different fills to it. You could also come in and redo another one. So let's say I change that to a fill stitch. Let's come in and look at that. If I change this one to a fill stitch and I want a decorative fill over the top of it, I can still do that, I believe. Let's come in and touch our background fill tool. Touch that. Nope, you're not going to let me have you. Oh, I was thinking I could do it, but it's not going to let me have it. Bummer. But okay, I got an idea. So since it will not let me have it, I'm going to select it and I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it. And then I can change that to a decorative fill. And let's change the color of that so y'all can see what the heck I'm doing here. And you can put a decorative fill over the top of it if you want. But then you would want to make sure that you put it in the order that it's sewing. So if that, I would want it to go with the piece that it's going. And so I could have a lighter green below. So let's say we do that light green, and then we could, oops, you do have to pick the right one. There we go. So let's change that to a lighter green. And then let's change this one to a darker green. So you could get a different look just by doing that if you want to. So the question we have in here is, can that be used with a Brother Essence? It cannot be used on the Brother Essence because the Brother Essence does not have My Design Center on it. But if you have P Design 11, you can use it with P Design 11 to then send to your Brother Essence. Okay. These also work on the other B brand. So they do work on the Baby Lock Solaris. It does have to have the 3 upgrade kit on it, or it'd be a 3. They are available for purchase via download. Yes. And they are on my website. So I'm going to show you how to go get them. Let's see here. They actually did go live. Let me open a new tab. Actually, we'll just pop it right here. They went live last week. Oops. If you go to cynthiasembroidery.com and over here on the left-hand side, if you click decorative fills and motif, I am about to change the banner to actually show it, but I wanted to share it with you guys today first. Decorative fills, there is a video on how to extract your downloads. These are the 3 collections. Now, I am going to have a special for you today. So if you add one to your cart, just so you know, the cart pops up here and it keeps you on this page. So you don't have to worry about, I'm going to add in the second one. You'll notice it's right there. And then if you wanted the third one, add it to cart and it's right here. Then simply click on your cart. Let me see here, banners today. Let me go to the end. So if you buy one, you can get half off of another. Excuse me, if you buy 2, you get half off of one of them. So that coupon is B2G 1/2. If I apply that, there you go. Your discount shows up. If you have 2 of one in there and you don't have the 3rd collection in, it will not let you have that coupon because it's trying to make sure that you do not do anything incorrectly. If you only want one collection, you can get 15% off any single collection. And that is your coupon code for it. Let me come back over here. Let's see here. Yeah, you're correct, Sandra. The fill on top of a fill works in P Design, not so easy in My Design Center on the machine. In order to get them filled on the machine, where are we on time? We're pretty good. So I can take my USB over to the machine and show you how to do what I just did on the machine. Let me switch cameras. All right, keep in mind, I can't see your comments over here. So they're there, but they're tiny for me. Let me see if I can move this a little bit. All right, so I have my collections loaded to my USB stick, And let's pick spring collection 1. Actually, let's go back and do the summer. Let's go begin at the beginning. Let's begin at the beginning. My Design Center. And decorative fills, or your fill stitch, we're going to choose decorative fills and touch select. You want to choose your custom tab. There's an entire video on how to do this, guys. I'm going through it a little quickly here, just kind of giving you another idea. So pull it out of the pocket. Let's go in and choose Summer Collection 1. And here are my decorative fills. There's my strawberry that we just did. Let's go ahead and touch OK. And it's saying data storage is full. Choose a custom pattern to replace it with the new pattern. That's telling me I've filled up my pocket of 12 that can reside on the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and touch OK. And I'm going to tell it which one I want it to remove. So I think I want it to remove the tulips here. We'll touch the tulips, touch OK, and it's going to say if I replace it, it's going to change whatever I saved on my machine with it, okay? So it will replace it with a fill stitch, just so you know. There's my strawberry decorative fill. It will automatically be selected. I'm going to go ahead and say OK, pick a color for it, and say OK again. Now, I'm going to come in and grab my Shapes tool, and I'm going to choose the Filled Shape tool. And let's just do a square. Touch OK. And that's your basic one. We're going to go ahead and touch size. Actually, I want to size this square. I want it down to 100 millimeters. And yes, I can come in here and do 100. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and say OK and touch next. Now, that shifting that I did in the software is down here. That is this offset. So if I want to change where that center position is, I move it to the right, I move it up, I touch OK and see what happens. Not quite where I want it. Let's keep going up. Let's go to the right, touch OK and see what changes. So you can see how my strawberries are moving up slightly. And let's keep going a little bit. There we go. So now I've got 4 strawberries in there. On the machine versus the software, the default is to have the outline turned off. If you don't want jump stitches, turn it on. The default is also, you have a thread thickness sensor. You can change that to thin. That's going to stitch 1 time versus 3, whereas the software is going to do 3 times regardless. And you can change your size of your motif right there. Let's go ahead and set that. Now, if I want to fill these strawberries in, what you do is touch your Edit tool. And you touch the Stamps tool. Choose Inside and make sure it's turned off. Excuse me, the distance is 0. And touch Memory. And then it's going to say you're going to recall it from your My Design Center stamp pattern list. And say OK. Now, let's go back and add. From My Design Center. And let's go into our Stamp Shape menu, because that's where it said those would be found, right there. Go into your same icon, the Stamps tool, and here is my strawberry. Touch OK. Now let's zoom in. And pan over. So this is the center of your strawberry. Come in. Grab you can choose a decorative fill, a stippling, or a fill stitch, whichever is your preference. Let's come in here and say we do the crackle. Red is my color. Let's paint them in. Oops, we need the fill bucket. I'm going to pan over to the other one. fill bucket. All right, so now let's change our color to green. Pan over. And pan again. Now go ahead and touch next. Your outlines, those lines there are not going to stitch. They automatically are turned off, just so you know that. There's our decorative fill. Let's link them all together and let's change that size as low as we can get it. 50% is as low as she goes in here in my design center. Oh, we don't get much in the way of the strawberry. So let's come in and pick a different fill. Let's come in and say we want a fill stitch instead. There you go. So go ahead and touch set. Say okay. And there you go. You have your fill stitch. So I would want to change my order. Go into your edit menu. And I believe if you have a luminaire, you can come in here and shift that one forward. Touch okay. And now I think I want to change the color of my decorative fill to black. And there you go, guys. That's how you do it. You would probably want to add some pull comp when you were in My Design Center. So if I went back in there, My Design Center, let me show you where you'll find pull comp. Paint bucket. Let's change our color. Paint bucket. Pull comp in here is found right here. So link them all together because they're all fill stitches. You can come in and increase your pull compensation and it'll change it in the direction that the stitch is going. I may have way too much here, guys, but we'll see. So there we go. Let's go ahead and say set. And let me delete my first set of those. Now, you'll notice that they go closer towards the edge than the second set did. Okay. So that's how you would do it. And just keep in mind that on the machine, you can't be near as precise as you are in the software. But I do appreciate Sandra opening my brain to that possibility. I really had not thought about it. So let me find that video for you so I can put a link in here for you to go watch, okay? Because she really did a very nice job of this. Let me see here. Sandra, which chat was that in, my business one or personal? Do you remember? I don't remember. Let me look. Let's see here. Notifications. Business. Okay, thanks. So let's see here. Well, I can't find the chat. Pop in that bit. Would you, hey, Sandra, would you please pop in the link for them just to make life a little easier here? And I will put it in on the bottom. So let me go here. YouTube. I'm sure I can find it here. Let's see. You're not coming up. Fiddle-dee-dee. Inbox. Huh? Inbox. I found it, I think. Maybe. There we go. Video, video, video. Must be personal. That's giving me meta. Hold on. Y'all think I'm absolutely nuts, and I am. Let me change to just me. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Here we go. That saves me a lot of time trying to do that. Let me see here. Libby, what question are you following? So yeah, Marcia, it's a great technique that she shared with us. I really think it's a fun little technique. So let's talk about different things that we can do, and I'll pop this up. Oh, edge to edge. Yes and no. Okay, it's not truly going to give you that edge to edge design that you're quite looking for, but so let me kind of explain what I mean. So let me pop back over here and get on P design. No. Okay, so let's say we came in and we brought in that decorative fill and we turn off the outline. First of all, it's not sewn, but now in your sewing attributes, you come in and you take off minimize feed. So if you take off minimize feed, then it is going to do the edge to edge, but you're going to have to really play with that center point to be able to make it to where you like how it's going to connect up, because it's not going to give you just that single connection. Okay. So if I come in here and I select this and I copy it and take it over, it is set up to actually connect, but you may have clipped off part of it. So that's, you'd have to really play with that. I would not suggest it for that use, just simply because it's not designed for that. Okay. And it's because it gives it has a buffer of it a little bit. So, could you probably fudge around and make one? Yes. But is that what those are for? It would not be. You'd have a lot of jump stitches there and it would not be optimal. So if you don't want an outline running around yours, just so you know, the key is take off minimize feed. That takes off that outline around the outside edge. But you'll notice how, there's a little tidbit here. That's part of that design right there, which is part of this design. It's the way they are made makes it a little bit more challenging to make them truly edge to edge, because this strawberry is part of that one. But so let's see. If we take this and we drop it over, are you getting it? You did. I did right there. But notice that didn't line up right there. So not truly going to be your best friend. The check mark is minimize feed right there in your sewing attributes. If you don't see that, you are in beginner mode. Okay. And I always work with these in expert mode. Now, let's talk a little bit about motifs. The motifs can be made as fill stitches or as outline stitches. So if I choose a motif as a fill, let's come in and grab one of my motifs. Where did that go to? Here's my screen. Let's come in and grab one. My fills. Carrots. Where are my carrots? I think they're in spring collection 2. Oh, you do have to hit something, not the decorative fills, but the motifs. Okay, so here is my upright carrot. I'm going to put that one in. So I think I did something similar to this one day with one of the carrots that are built into the software. Let's see if we change our size. Let's change it down to about 25, 22. There we go. Now we've got one going all the way across. Okay, so what if I want carrots sitting in the grass? Instead of pattern 1 only, I can choose pattern 1 and 2. And then I can come down here and choose my grass. And then you can change that offset. And let's say I don't want that grass that big. Let's say I want my grass to be 5 millimeters. Or 7. Let's see what 7 does for us. There we go. That's a little bit more proportional. Okay. So let me slide down here, and then we can change our offset. So I'm going to change this vertical offset to a negative number. And if you look down here in this window, you'll see how that motif itself is changing. It's moving up on top of that carrot. And let's watch it happen up here. So now you can see you've got your carrots that are sitting in your grass. You could do the same thing with the tulips. And if you don't like, let's see, I don't want that carrot there. I want it to see if I can't change that. Let's change my offset a little bit. And then I'll change my grass offset a little bit. Trying to get that one tip of the carrot off. So what I can do now is let's change our spacing. Let's change that vertical spacing to where they're a little bit further spaced apart. There we go. Now I've gotten rid of those carrots on the bottom. Then you can come back down here and let's change this vertical offset a little bit. Wrong direction. And you can see what's happening in this preview window as long as you're over the top of this. There you go. Now you can, yes, you would have on the sewing machine side, if you try to fill them in, you'll probably have some gaps there. Let's say we wanted the tulips instead. Come in and grab your tulips. There you go. So now you've got tulips. Now, are those going to be a single color? Yes, they are. But you could actually take that and play with it. You'd have to work a bit around it. Or you could have one decorative fill. So let's change this to pattern 1 only. And spread them apart. To where we get rid of that one. And then copy it and paste it. And let's change the second one. So did I not paste it? Let's copy and paste. Okay, and let's change its color. Actually, let's change the color of the carrot. Oh, that would be tulips. All right, so this one we want to change to the grass. And we want it to be moved down. So let's come and change that down to like 7, I think is what we had it. And let's change its spacing to where we get fewer rows. Oh, may have gone too far. We want to change our vertical offset. It's easier to see when you have both of them on the one thing. I will say that. We need that first line to be where we want it to be. And then we can play with the other two. Almost there. Okay, so now let's take our vertical spacing and change it. See what happens. Wrong direction. There we go. So that's how I've got, if I look at that, my vertical spacing was 25 and my vertical offset was 21.6. And those look pretty good. So that's how you can get a two colored fill there. So let me come answer some questions. Yes, anything that's not in on that particular fill, these are all open fills. So they're just like decorative fills in that aspect. There is no fill inside it unless you did Sandra's method of going in and doing a background fill, which you could certainly do. So if we wanted to do that, let's think about it. We could come in and do background fill, and you could come in and grab all of your tulip tops. And I'm just simply clicking in the centers of the tulip tops. Let's touch next. I don't care what fill is there. I'm just going to go ahead and say okay. And then let's come and choose a decorative fill. So let me come in and pick one. Let's try the waves. And let's make those teeny tiny. Maintain aspect 1. And let's change our, oops. Will it let me go that low? 10 is as low as you can go on that one. So that's not an optimal choice because there's not enough waves to make that work. But the same kind of thing could be done by choosing the concentric circle stitch. Play with it, guys. You have all kinds of items all kinds of different things that you can choose to have fun with this and make it your own. Now, if you changed your mind and wanted to move those tulips, you are out of luck. You would need to delete your fill, okay? Because anytime you shift those motifs or the decorative fills, their counterpart's not going to be with them. So keep that in mind. Okay. Yeah, you could add an offset for sure. You definitely could add an offset to each one if you wanted to. That would take the gap away. It takes more time and a little bit more work, but you could certainly do it. Patty, I'm glad Sandra and I were able to blow your mind today. She opened my brain to that possibility. I really wasn't thinking of these in terms of that. The other thing that you could do, guys, is you could use fabric markers. You could use ink tints and pencils. So if you, I don't have mine. Oh, hold on. Ink tints pencils you could use to color them in and use it as a coloring item. These, let me open up here. This is Rhonda's fault that I have these in my house. So ink tints pencils, you can color in and basically just color in, add a little water or add a little, what am I trying to say? Fabric medium to keep them inside the lines and have fun, have a blast with that. So yeah, this is Robin's fault. Now I have all kinds of fabric markers, but I had to go out and try these. And I have all kinds of fabric inks, but I had to go out and try those. So that's Robin's fault from this weekend's class. And if you all didn't sign up and take this weekend's class and you want to take it later, you can still take it. You're just not live with us, but the projects are all still there. It's 6 classes, and those that attended, I think, had a blast. So there you go. DF pattern 47. Yeah. I think you're talking about edge to edge quilting, Sandra. So yeah, even thread painting would work for sure, Anne. And I thought I thought they were all good, decent classes. Everybody had something that was a little bit different, and I mean, it was I mean, there's things that I want to do. Obviously, I have my pens or my pencils. I hadn't even thought about the Inktense pencils. When Rhonda came up with her project, that was my backup plan, was showing, but with inks and not with Inktense pencils. So I was going to do fabric painting with markers, but we both had the same idea, and so I pivoted and went a different direction. No, these are not designs per se. These are decorative fills and motifs, and they can be used on the luminaire or in P Design 11. So yes, so Sandra said she made edge to edge ones with some of the more simple background decorative fills. So keep that in mind. It would have to be a very simple pattern because it has to connect in that manner. And honestly, you really only want to have one connection spot on each side when you're doing an edge to edge pattern. Now, could I make a decorative fill that would do that? Of course. But you have to think it in that sense, that because you only want to have to connect it on one side in one point. Otherwise, it would be a little bit, it's more challenging. Yes. It is. I mean, it's her fault. She got us all hooked on those. I just have to see. And yeah, they just bump up to each other. So kind of keep that in mind. All right. Yes, exactly, Patty. So yeah, it's really one of those. You have to truly think it through. Now, one thing I didn't show that I should, while we're on motifs, if you want a single one of these guys, come in and draw yourself a square. And let's see here, let's change it to a motif. And let's say I want a single strawberry. Because Heather asked me this question, how can I get a single? There is a way, guys. So if I wanted a single strawberry, summer collection. Or how about we do let's do a single crab. I like the crabs. So let's come in here and change this up to 100 millimeters. And let's put everything back at our default so we don't have any miscellaneous stuff. Okay, let's change it, make it a little bit, 100 is as large as I can get it. So I think I'm going to shrink my fill a little bit here. Okay, so what I can do is I can convert region to line. And then I can come in and go to my select tool and my select point tool. And let's see here. We want to get rid of, we want to split at that point. So now let me put that one back where it belongs. And then come over on this side and let's find, not that one. That would be the one we want, split at point. Let's move this one back where it goes. So now I can come in and simply select those two half lines there. Select them, move my cursor in, press delete, and now I have a single crab. And it can be made whatever size you want it at this point. And to use Sandra's technique, you could certainly do it here. Evidently, I've still got a point sticking out there. Let's just say okay. Now, the idea that somebody else had was come over here and say create offset line. This may or may work. You would want it to go outward and you would want it to go about 0.2, I think. Let's see if it'll do it. Yep. Let's go ahead and say okay. So there's our little dashed line. Let me hide this one. And let's see what happens if we turn this one on. There you go. So that gets you right up against the edge and it would fill. Let me change my crab to green. You would need to do that for each individual area. But you can certainly do it. Now, let me move my little point that I messed up here back in. Or we could just delete that. There you go. Now we don't have a stinker in there. Okay. So, yes, yours has my design center, but you can't add more decorative fills. That's something that came with this, with the Luminaire 3 upgrade. It is the only machine in our lineup that you can do that with. You have, because you don't have that custom tab. We can on the Luminaire, can't do it on my 10 needle, can't do it on the Stellaire, can't do it on the Dream, but you can use them in P Design. So there are ways around that. Yeah, you have to use P Design 11 to get the more fills when you're on a Stellaire. That's the way things are at this point. Somebody else had a question on, and I think she wanted to, and if I didn't if I don't answer this question the correct way, let me know. Okay, I'm going to answer this one, and then I'll put those coupon codes up again for you. All right, let's see here. So she has a name that she has done. So let's say I did Cindy here. And oops, what font do I have selected? All right, and she wants a shadow on it. Why do I have I must have hit a space in there. Okay. And she wants a shadow around it. So how would I do that? This is how I would do it. Okay. I would go to my embroidered patch wizard and I would say how far away I wanted it from the original pattern. And then I would add a color. So come select it over here. Click the select patterns tool, change the color to whatever you want it, or pick whatever fill you want and choose your color. And then I would select my text. And I mean, that's what I would do. I would just give it nap control. So I would do my net fill stitch and I would come over here and choose the cross one and take that to the minimum spacing. And if I'm not answering the question correctly, let me know, but that's what I would do. Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Patty. Yes, that's like a knockdown, Jennifer. And thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed the crab. I had fun making these guys. So let me go pull up your coupon codes. If you were in the Education Connection, you also got coupon codes. And those may have been a little bit better. So your 15% off any single collection is 15 off. And this one is B2G 1/2. That's buy two, get the third one half off, basically. All right. So be sure and like my Facebook page, like my YouTube page, follow me, do all those wonderful things because I always forget to tell you all that. You know that. Let's see here. Workbook coupon codes are, let me find those. Lettering So Easy for BES4 is LET4. Digitizing So Easy for version 10 is DIG10. I do believe those are still active. If not, I'll go back in and check it out. Okay. So, yes, you sure can. Actually, Marsha, I don't know, but I think so. I'll check with Angela on that. I'm not sure if the coupon to buy the class is still good. You can try it. It's Cindy VIP. So if you wanted to go back and buy the class now, you could try it. I'm pretty I'm pretty sure it might still work. Can't tell you for sure, though. Let me turn off these banners. And you all have a great rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed today. I hope you enjoy the collection. So thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Thanks, Erin.